Good afternoon, Oak Grove. Happy Thursday. Welcome to this week's installment of our Midweek Check-In series here on the church's YouTube channel. Thank you for taking a few minutes of your day to hang out with me as I just pop into your feeds in the middle of the week just to say hi and keep the church on our consciousness. I'm going to try to keep my video relatively shorter today, although I say that often and then still find 10 minutes worth of stuff to go on and on about and ramble, because by now that's how I roll. I'm full of hot air and I say I'm not going to talk very long and then I talk a lot longer than I expected to. But I'm going to try to keep it relatively shorter because I know a lot of us have last minute holiday plans to make, and we're hard at work and we don't have a whole lot of time to sit here and watch Pastor Babylon on YouTube, but just wanted to check in and say hi. I will do a quick summary of announcements of the events for the next few days. Please don't forget about our Blue Christmas service that is coming up on Saturday night at 7 o'clock. That is Saturday the 21st at 7 o'clock here at the church. What is this? Because, as far as I'm aware, I've been told Oak Grove has never done one of these before. Well, this is a simple worship service of hymns and prayers. There is no communion. We're not celebrating communion. That is intended for people who are struggling at the holidays. The holidays are not necessarily a joyful time for everyone. This is a time of year that can bring up grief and can bring up a lot of painful emotions and memories for a lot of people. And so Blue Christmas, or longest night services as they're sometimes called, are intended to be a safe place for those feelings for people who are struggling. And I think that a good comparison is the Blue Christmas service is almost like going through Good Friday, so that you can appreciate the joy of Easter Sunday a little better. Well, maybe Blue Christmas is our prep where we're more ready for the joy of Christmas Day once we've taken time to acknowledge the darkness before getting to the light. And so I would encourage you to join us for that if you think that you even remotely might benefit from it a little bit. Sunday morning, we will be having the children's pageant during worship at our usual 9 o'clock service, so please join us to see the kiddos and that. Parents of kiddos, even if you did not have an opportunity to come last week to the practice for the pageant, if your kiddos want to participate, please do feel free to come. Try to let Tracy Schaefer know in advance if that is the case. She can find a part to play for your kids, even with minimal to no preparation. So we want all to be able to participate in that. After worship is concluded, we will have a luncheon as a end-of-year Sunday school Christmas party. All are welcome for that. It is not just for Sunday school kids and parents. The whole congregation is welcome. You are encouraged, but not required, to bring a covered dish to share. And then our Christmas Eve services will be on Tuesday, the 24th, of course, at 4 and 7, just as we did last year, 4 and 7 p.m. We have not figured out an exact schedule for how and when we're going to set out the luminaria on our walkways yet. We will probably have an idea for how we'll do that on Sundays, but I will say we'll probably set them out sometime Tuesday morning or early afternoon. If anybody could drop by the church and lend us a hand in doing that, many hands would make light work. But pay attention for further announcements about exactly when we'll do that. The following Sunday, the 29th, we will be doing our usual lessons and carols service with no sermon that day, to maybe give your pastor a week off of preparing a sermon. Lessons and carols, get to sing lots of our favorite Christmas carols on that day. And then the church office, please take note, will be closed for non-crisis business from Christmas through the first weekend after New Year's. We will be able to take emergency calls if there's any pastoral care that needs done during that time. I do not have another pastor filling in for me, so if anybody's in the hospital or if anybody otherwise needs me, and if you're at all in doubt about whether or not you need me, please do give me a call and I will be on call for you, but I will not be holding regular office hours during that time. So just getting some announcements out of the way there, and outside of that, I don't have a whole lot to say to you this week, Oak Grove, other than to, this is revisiting stuff that I've said over the last month or so with my midweek videos and with my sermons, but I just want to check in with all of you and say, I don't know how your Christmas prep is going. I don't know if all of your decorating is probably done by now, whatever decorating you're going to do, although we may still beat ourselves up that we didn't decorate as much as we thought we should, as much as we hoped to. I don't know if all of your baking is done. I don't know if all of your shopping is done, or maybe you're one of those adrenaline rush people that puts it off till the evening of Christmas Eve. I don't know if all of your wrapping is done. I can't remember if I already said that. I don't know if all your preparation is done. But just as a word of encouragement, and I know I've said this before, but it bears repeating because it is a time of year when these things begin to get to us. If your house is not perfectly clean, baby Jesus is still coming on Wednesday. If your house is not perfectly decorated, if you don't have the perfect Christmas village worthy of a Hallmark movie set up in your house, baby Jesus is still coming Wednesday morning. If you haven't baked 300 cookies like my wife did last week, baby Jesus is still coming. If you haven't nailed the perfect gift for all of your loved ones, and if they're not all beautifully wrapped, baby Jesus is still coming. And on a more serious note, if you're not feeling the joy of the holiday season because at this time of year you may have lost a loved one, maybe you're mourning some other kind of hardship where maybe times are tough financially for you. Maybe you can't afford to put on Christmas for folks this year. Baby Jesus is still coming on Wednesday. The gift of the Christ child arriving on Wednesday is, as is the case with everything that God does for us, a completely free, unmerited, undeserved gift. We do nothing whatsoever to make Jesus come any faster. We do nothing to forfeit his arrival into our lives. He's a-comin' because he is God's greatest gift to us. And notwithstanding our imperfect preparations for him, he's still coming. So this is a time of year when we are stressing, when we are worried, some of us. If you're not, I'm glad. I'm very glad for you. If you're not, hallelujah. Praise Jesus for that. I hope you're feeling the joy and the peace of the holiday season. I hope you're looking forward to Christmas Day. I hope you're full of joy and cheer. If you are, wonderful. Maybe you don't need any encouragement from Pastor today. But if you are in the boat of you are struggling with grief or pain at this time of year, remembering a loved one that was lost in the month of December, or struggling with family strife where you're going to have to see that cousin or that uncle or that brother or sister on Christmas Day that you fight with every time you see them, and there are 20 or 30-year-old resentments between the two of you, if that causes you stress or anxiety, if you feel real legitimate stress or anxiety about trying to put on the perfect Christmas for your family, baby Jesus is still coming. And he wants you to know it's going to be okay. Try as best you can. Of course, you can't just tell somebody to turn it on and off like a switch. Try the best you can to relax, to experience the joy of the season, to let go as best you can of whatever anxieties you're carrying, because baby Jesus' arrival is not intended to cause you stress. It is intended to cause you joy. And so if there are things in this season that are sucking away the joy, then maybe it's time to reevaluate our relationship to those things. I don't know how that looks for you in your life. Maybe make an appointment to speak to me about it in private if it involves jettisoning relationships with family members. I don't know. But it is my hope and my wish for you all that you experience the joy of the holiday, which is why I'm here in my silly Santa hat. And you will not be getting a midweek update from me after Christmas. So I'm sure that I will see very nearly every one of you that is watching this for worship over the next week. But in the event, some of you who are watching out of state, those of you who go to other churches, whatever, if I don't get to see you, have a very Merry Christmas and a wonderfully Happy New Year, Oak Grove. I wish for the joy and the hope of the season to be yours. And sure enough, I have talked for almost 10 minutes. I should give up ever trying to say I'm going to make the video shorter because it never happens. Just don't say that, Steve. Just don't ever say it again. All right, Oak Grove, I hope to see you over the next few days at worship. Take care. Enjoy the joy of this season. Relax. Baby Jesus has you in his hands. That's all I've got. Talk to you later. God bless.